Okay, well, let's go ahead and get started. And for the second half, okay, so for the second half, we're going to view verb conjugations, and we're going to talk up a little bit about what you guys discussed on Monday, the verb ser. We're going to go over the verb, regular AR verbs, present tense, and we're going to review our subject pronouns. So who remembers what the subject pronouns are? Anybody?
We talking about the he, she.
Yes.
Okay. It.
Say it again.
Oh yes, ma'am. He, she, it.
Okay.
They, us.
Okay. And how would you say those in Spanish? If you're saying I am, how would you say I am? How would you say I'm sorry?
Soy. Oh wait, no. I'm thinking about if I'm answering a question. So how would you say I? Well, wouldn't it be soy?
So that's if you want to say I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So soy is I am.
So the subject pronouns are yo, tú. You remember now?
Yeah. I was just saying. I was like, I haven't studied. I gotta study. Okay.
Okay. So our subject pronouns are yo, which is I, tú, you, él, ella, ella, usted, nosotros, nosotras, ellos, ellas, and ustedes. Those are our subject pronouns. And if we want to conjugate the verb ser, which means what? What does ser mean?
There is, are.
So what is that verb? To be, right?
To be.
Yes. So ser means to be, and if we conjugate the verb, that's how we get the I am, you are, he, she is. Do you remember anybody remember how to conjugate the verb ser?
Miss Jennifer, a question. What does conjugate mean?
Okay. Is that to me, class? What does conjugate mean? What does it mean to conjugate a verb?
I'll ask you.
Is that the same as tenses? To speak in the present perfect and past tenses, is that conjugated?
Right. So when you conjugate a verb, you're making you're changing the verb to agree with the subject. So it creates subject-verb agreement. So, and we do it in English all the time. We just don't realize it because it's our natural language. So if we say to be and we conjugate to be, that would be I am, you are, he, she is. And this is to make the verb agree with the subject.
And Miss Jennifer, this is on I don't know how to say page, Mr. Lewis, but on page 12 in our who?
Hyena.
Hyena?
Hyena.
I feel like, say that again one more time.
Hyena.
Hyena?
Yes.
Okay. Dulce in our textbook.
Okay.
So we can follow along, because even though Mr. Lewis gave us notes last class, but I know Brandon wasn't here, so page 12. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. So in your textbook, if you want to turn there, we're going to just review the verb ser really quickly, and then we're going to start learning how to conjugate AR verbs. And we're going to practice on that before we finish our class today. So to conjugate the verb ser, it is yo soy, which is I am.
Yo soy.
Tú eres.
Tú eres.
You are. And él, ella, usted, es.
Él, ella, usted.
Wait.
Is that ud?
Ustedes?
Usted. Usted. So we're talking about you in the formal, and just one you, it would be usted.
Oh, okay. The usted.
One second. And Miss Ware, that oud you see is an abbreviation for usted.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Okay. And then nosotros somos.
Nosotros
Somos.
somos.
Nosotros, nosotros,
Uh-huh.
nosotros.
Somos.
We,
We are, correct. Or you can, if it's feminine or all females, then you would say nosotras.
nosotras.
And then we have ellos, ellas, ustedes son.
Ellos.
Ellas, ustedes son.
And that is they are, male, females, plural, or
Mhm.
you, as in you all, plural, formal. Okay, so
Can we go back over that again before we go to the next thing, please?
sure. Okay, so
We're doing sir, S-E-R, right? Sir to be, that's what we're doing?
yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, so let's review that one more time. So ser, to be, yo soy,
Yo soy.
You're soy,
tú eres,
tú eres,
Eres.
ella,
Sí.
usted,
ella, usted,
es.
eh.
Okay.
Now the
No.
ED is abbreviation for ustedes, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And nosotros somos,
Nosotros
Nosotros
somos,
somos.
or you can say nosotras somos.
Nosotras somos.
Okay. And then we have ellos son,
ellos,
ellas son,
ella,
Ellas son.
and ustedes son.
ustedes son.
Okay.
So son comes after each one.
Right.
Ellos, ella, usted, son. Okay.
Yes. Okay. All right. So we're good on Sarah?
Sí.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Didn't sound too sure, but okay. All right. So I'm going to share my screen and we're going to start something new on today, and that will be AR verbs. Okay.
Okay. Let's see.
Okay. So present tense AR verbs. All right, so we're going to start right here. So the present tense of a regular AR verb is formed by dropping the infinitive ending AR, and we're going to add the personal endings O, as, a, almost. We don't really learn, we haven't been learning the vosotros, but that's ice and on. So vosotros, which is shown here, is another subject pronoun that's mostly used in other Spanish countries like Spain. So it's not very common in the Latin American community. So
And do we have that sheet or not?
Professor, this is in their classroom, right?
Yes, it is. It's in the
It should be
classroom.
right.
If I was open until today, so it's open now.
Okay.
You do have it.
Okay, so, and so right here we have our first example. And this verb here is cantar, and it means to sing. And if we are translating it, it will be yo canto, tú cantas, usted, ella canta, nosotros, nosotras cantamos, and ustedes, ellos, ellas cantan. And this is to mean I am. I am singing, I sing, or I do sing. It can be translated 3 different ways. And it's written here, but it's kind of light. But that means I am singing, I do sing, or I sing. There are 3 ways to say it when you translate this verb. And that would apply to each verb tense. So you sing, you are singing, or you do sing. Okay. All right. The subject pronouns usted and ustedes are usually expressed in Spanish. The other subject pronouns are usually omitted unless they are required for clarity or emphasis. So just to say I sing well, you can say canto bien, or they sing well, cantan bien. But if you want to be specific and you're speaking about a female, and as you can see up here, canta can be for you formal, it can represent he or it can represent she. So this is where you would get specific and say, if you're saying you formal, it would be ustedes cantan, canta bien, or if you're saying referring to a female, you would say ella canta bien, pero él canta mal. So she sings well, but he sings badly. Okay. All right. And the feminine forms we've already discussed of nosotros or vosotros, they end in as. And tú and vosotros are the familiar forms used in Spanish when addressing close relatives, intimate friends, or small children. In Spanish American countries, the ustedes form is used instead of the vosotros form, which we just also discussed. So here are some of the most common AR verbs here. And so admirar, to admire, or ayudar, to help, bailar, to dance. And you can kind of, you'll get a chance to look over all of these on your own free time, but let's practice a little bit. So exercise A, Enrique is telling his cousin what they and their friends are going to do after school. Express in complete sentences what he says. And we have our first example here. Let's see, Miss K, can you read our first example?
Alfredo monta in, but okay. Bicicleta. Bicicleta. Alfredo monta in bicicleta.
Okay. And that is Alfredo rides his bike. He rides the bike. Okay, so we're going to get some practice in here. But before we do, let's review one more time. So who remembers how to say the AR endings? What are the AR endings? Let's review those first. If you want to say I sing, how do you say I sing?
It's yo
Soy? Oh, no, I'm sorry.
canto, yo canto.
Yo canto.
But
Okay.
is it that you add the O on the end to make it, to have the subject and the verb agree in this case?
Right. So when we conjugate a verb, and I skipped over that. So this word cantar is an infinitive, and infinitives are what will represent verbs in Spanish. When we say to do something in English, in Spanish, that is called the infinitive. And so when you have an infinitive, you drop the ending. And there are three ways to say verbs in Spanish, or three infinitives. And they either end in AR, ER, or IR. That's how you can recognize a verb. So this is what we have here. We have the infinitive, cantar. And when you have, when you're getting ready to conjugate the verb, you drop the ending. And so we drop the AR here. And then we add these personal endings here. You either add O to represent I, AS to represent you, A to represent he, she, or the you formal, amos, which represents we, and then AN or on, which represents plural they or plural you. Okay. So,
Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm taking notes because I didn't print this out. I'm sorry.
okay.
Because that was what I was confused on is
Ms. Ware, this is also being recorded and we will put in your classroom, so you'll
Okay.
get into it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Everybody can see it. All right.
Okay. Okay. So let's review. So let's choose a different verb. Let's practice. So if we're going to use this verb here, let's use to dance, bailar, B-A-I-L-A-R. So we're going to say I dance. How would you say that?
Yo
Bailo, correct. And what about we dance?
to bailos.
Nosotros.
Bailamos.
Sí.
Oh, she
we
said we.
dance. Uh-huh.
We.
So to say we dance is nosotros or nosotras bailamos.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alamos.
Yes, we're adding the AMOS.
Oh, that's right. That's we right here.
Okay. What about to say they, all males? Ellos.
Bailan.
What did you say? Bailan?
Uh-huh.
Sí. Okay, correct. And what about you? You dance. How would you say that?
Bailas.
Balas.
All right, good job.
Two balas.
That's right. So let's get some practice in here. So we're going to start with number 1, and we're going to go down the line. So let's see here. Miss Tamika, you start us off.
Okay, so Sarita. That's so then it'd be tocaro, like get tarara.
Okay, what ending did you add to the verb?
An O,
So,
because
so-
that's a female. Oh, so then it should be an A.
okay. So say that sentence one more time. La guitarra.
La guitarra. Okay. Sarita tocaro. How do you say it? Tocar.
Mm-hmm.
And then how do you add the A to it?
So remember, we're dropping the AR.
Oh, so okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. So tocar la guitarra.
Okay.
Okay,
Sarita.
Ms. Van?
Uh-huh.
Let me say 1 second.
No R.
I got something 1 second, guys. I see something here. So everybody be mindful that when you conjugate these verbs have nothing to do with masculine and feminine. So because you said toca at the end of the A, it had nothing to do with Sarita because she's a female. It had nothing to do with that. It could have been Pedro, a male, and it's still toca. Okay, so I gotta get that in my mind. Verbs have nothing to do with masculine and feminine, O's and A's and all that good stuff we learn about. It has nothing to do with that. These endings are set in stone. If I'm referring to I, it's going to end in O. If I'm referring to you, it's going to end in AS. If I'm referring to he, she, or the usted form, it's going to end in A. If I was referring to we, it will end in AMOS. And if I'm referring to you all or they, it will end in AN. Period. Has nothing to do with your gender. Okay, so get that in mind.
Well, you just said he, she, or it. That's what I did. She. And
right. When you say hold on. But it could have been he also.
But I was looking at my sheet of the notes I took, and I saw she was ended in A.
See, that's what I'm trying to dispel right now. I want you to clear that. It has nothing to do with she. It has nothing to do with she. Well, hold on. Stop. It has nothing to do with because she's feminine. Because we have words in Spanish that because it's feminine, even though it has no gender, like a table is mesa. The end of A is a table is actually feminine in Spanish. We don't have that in English. And it is an A. And I want to make sure you don't get that confused with these verbs who has nothing to do with masculine or feminine. It's going to end in A if the subject is he, she, or said.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I promise you someone's not confuse that. But verbs have nothing to do with masculine, feminine, O's and A's and all that stuff. Because now we have an O too. Now doing verbs, if I see it in an O, it don't mean masculine, feminine, or male or female. It means I. Check this out. Let's say hablo. Who's speaking?
A male.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. No. Verbs, if it's in the O, it lets you know the subject is I. So if I say hablo español, I'm saying I speak Spanish. I don't care if it's a female could have said that. So you ladies could say hablo español. It means I speak Spanish. These verbs have nothing to do with that masculine and feminine stuff. So these endings are set in stone. If you see an O, and you're gonna get used to hearing O, yo como. Comer means to eat. If I say como, who's eating?
Uh-huh.
I'm eating, exactly. For our verb, vivir means to live. If I say bibo, who's living? I, because the end of the O.
Mhm.
Now this is the verbs. So we just talk about the I. Now there's a you form, a you ending, and a he, she, it ending, we, and they ending. But I got to make sure I got my mind at the beginning that this has nothing to do with masculine or feminine. It isn't an O because it's like, it's I. And when it is an A, the A form is because it's an AR verb and it's a he, she, or usted. That's male and female. It's third person. So I got to watch this line walking. And so, okay, Jennifer.
Huh?
Thank you, love. I'm back there. I can't stop.
Okay.
Look. Check out, guys. The verb hablar. We talk about AR verbs. Now, Jennifer told you that we have AR verbs, we have ER verbs, and IR verbs. We have 3 different classes of verbs in Spanish. And we just talked about AR verbs today. Now, how do you conjugate these AR verbs? Well, Jennifer said you first take the AR off. Take the ending, AR, ER, take the AR off, which will leave you with your stem. So let's look at the verb hablar, Hablar. Hablar. That's an infinitive. It's the verb before it's been touched. It says it's without blemish. Hablar. It means to speak. It means to speak. There's no subject. Who speaks? We don't know. It says to speak. Infinitive. Hablar ends in AR. So if I take the AR off, I have HABL. It's habla. It's no ending. It's habla. I just took the AR off. Now, what Jennifer told me is if I add an O, then whatever that verb is, it's referring to I. So I put an O on hablo. I got hablo. If I put an AS on it, hablas. But Jennifer said if it ends in AS, it's referring to you. So when I say hablas español, do you speak Spanish? Because it ends in AS. If I put an A on that stem, habla. Well, that goes for the third person. El habla, which is he. Él habla. Ella habla, she. Or usted habla. Él, ella, usted. They all take the same verb form. So él habla, ella habla, usted habla. Él habla, he speaks. Ella habla, she speaks. And usted habla, you speak. But it has nothing to do with male and female. None of that. Because we have a whole class of grammar that has to do with that. These nouns, those are nouns and adjectives that has to do with the O's and A's, masculine, feminine, la 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 la. That's a whole different thing. We're not talking about that yet. These things are written in stone. O is I, period. So this is what I need to learn. If a verb ends in O, I'm saying I. If my verb ends in AS, I'm saying you. If my verb ends in A, I'm saying he, she, or the usted form, you. If my verb ends in AMOS, it's saying we. And if a verb ends in AN, it's saying they or the ustedes, which is the you plural. That's how I learned this part here. And I can take an easy verb like hablar, because we all know what to speak, and change the ends up and just see how I get it. So I didn't know that if I say hablamos, who's speaking?
A.
Hablamos. AMOS, hablamos.
Is it
We.
they?
We. It's nosotros. Nosotros hablamos español. We speak Spanish.
We.
We. Now, the thing about it is I don't have to say nosotros, which means we in Spanish. I don't have to do it. I can simply say hablamos español. And because of my ending, it lets anybody with an ear know that I'm saying we because it ends in AMOS. And that's hard for us to conceive in English because we have to say I, you. We have to say it. In Spanish, they rarely ever use their such pronouns. They say hablo español, and you're used to automatically know that I'm saying I speak Spanish. Yo no hablo español. I don't speak Spanish. I heard Miss Jane earlier tonight was talking with me. She said no comprende. When I was asking about the age, she said no comprende. Now I was laughing, but she didn't say it right because she wanted to say I don't understand. So she said, but no comprendo. Y'all getting that? She said no comprende, and that is a correct form of verb, but it means he doesn't understand or she doesn't understand. But she was trying to say, I don't understand. So it should have ended in O.
Mm.
So if you don't remember nothing else from this lesson, remember that your verbs ending in O are saying I. Yo hablo, I eat. Yo como, excuse me. Yo hablo, I speak. Yo como, I eat. Yo vivo, I live. Yo encanto, I love. And so forth. That O, just remember your O. The O in your verb form, to the AR off the edge of O, it means I, whatever that verb is. And that long list of verbs, Jen, go to the long list of verbs. Let's on that chart, when y'all go back and look at it tonight, because I know y'all are, all these AR verbs, they're all in the AR. These verbs, they're all in the AR. Descansar, desear, dibujar. All these are in the AR. Now, Jennifer said take the AR off. So look at decorar, right at the tip of the top. Decorar, to decorate. Decorar. Take the AR off. I got decor with a R, D-E-C-O-R. That's what's left. It's called the stem. Now, Jennifer said that all I do is add the ending to that stem, and it's automatically understood who's talking. So if I say decoro, I know I'm decorating. I decorate. Decoras, you decorate. Decora, he decorates. She decorates, or usted decorates. Decoramos, we decorate. And decoran, they decorate because of the ending. Am I getting somebody?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so take these. What I would suggest you do, guys, and I don't want to formulate your own study habits, but I would look at these verbs right here, these 20-some verbs, and I would go in here and take about 10 of them and make a very simple sentence, and make sure I'm doing it right. Like I would say, I would write on paper number one. Él enseña español, and that's the fifth word down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth word, enseñar, to teach. I said, él enseña español. He teaches Spanish. I want that right. And see, it has nothing to do with N and A for female or masculine, because that's that L. It's he. He teaches Spanish. So the O and A, I don't want y'all to bring that here. That has nothing to do with verbs. Okay, so I would try these things. I would practice because I have to take the AR off and add endings to make the subject. I have to do this. Now, if I don't practice that, it won't get done. I didn't know how to, instead of saying to pay, pagar, I pay, you pay, she pays. I didn't know how to do that. So, but there's a process to that. I got to take the AR off, and I got to know what the ending, what correct ending goes there. And so that's the process. So I would suggest you guys practice the process, and it'll be a lot clearer to you. Please don't close this up and don't do it again next Monday. Please don't do that. Because it's not gonna take in that way. Do it, mess it up, make mistakes, so we can get through it and we can work with it. But this is conjugation. Now, believe me, now listen, guys, this is the present tense. This is the present tense of AR verbs. We got ER verbs, we got IR verbs. And then that's just present tense. We also got the past, future, perfect, subjunctive moves, all kind of stuff on. So we learn a whole new language. So it's a whole lot to learn. And so I would suggest practice. Practice make perfect. It's not, you don't have to kill yourself, but practice. Get some paper out and write this stuff up. Practice these words. You got whole 20 verbs. But make some sentences. Lavar means to wash. I'm gonna say I wash my hands. Something very simple. And guess what? You have to take the AR off and add an O and say yo lavo, mi mano. And that's not right, but that's just what you're about to say. But it makes sense. And I know where you are, so I know that you're actually doing the process. So practice, try them out. In fact, your homework assignment. You take 10 of these verbs here that you're looking at right there, 10 verbs, 10, anything of your choice. And do your best to I want you to make 10 sentences. Write the English and Spanish so I can know exactly what you're saying. Because I don't want you saying, he said this or he decorated that and you're supposed to been I decorate. I want you to know what you're doing. So write the English sentence and your Spanish sentence. Make it as simple as possible. I want to see you conjugate some verbs. Try.
What is this called in in the classroom?
Well, in the classroom, it's going to be on, this is on page, okay, so you're on page 12, I believe, 12 and 13 in your textbook. Okay, hold on. You take this right here. Let me see. I don't know. It should be workbook, AR verb conjugation. It should be it's one of the last things that posted. I know that.
Because all I see is the phone calls.
Okay, and I just put that up. Now go in front of those. Let me go look and see. Because Jennifer pulled it up, so it's definitely there.
So what is it called, Jennifer? Because all I see is new materials, subject pronouns, and the verb said.
Let me see.
Oh.
I don't know if it's available. So I think it still
Uh-oh.
said draft.
Oh, okay. Maybe you know what? Okay, if that's the case, then I need to make it available to you guys. We got it, but y'all don't have it.
It's regular verbs, present tense. Yeah,
It's not available then.
no.
Okay, so guess what, y'all? It'll be available as soon as y'all get up to class. And it's gonna be the last thing posted. You're gonna see something. You're gonna see a new post. It's gonna be the last thing posted. So
Okay.
so you'll have it. I
Okay.
can't do it. I can't do it right now. While y'all online though.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. Don't be so quiet, guys. Look. So if you're not getting it, let's say you're not getting it. You know you're like, oh my goodness, my head hurt. Oh, Mr. Lewis came in and Saturday we have a free class. I'm going to be available to go over all this again. I mean, because my keyword is repetition. All this stuff is to be done over and over. That's why I have my students come back and teach. Like Jen, just now she don't know it, but she's repeating this again. So it's going back in her mind again. This is why this is repetition. Repetition is key. And I preached that to one of your classmates. And I guess he didn't think I was joking, but you're seeing today, repetition is key. So go over stuff over again. You're not gonna learn it one time and just throw it away. You can't do that with Spanish. Until you get some years on your belt, then you got it. But don't forget, we don't know everything in English, so we definitely don't know everything in Spanish. So get it, guys. I mean, practice. Speak, repeat. And I'm gonna put this activity up. Thank you, Jennifer. Give her a hand.
Thank you,
Good
Jennifer.
job.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Hope I didn't confuse you
Thank you,
guys.
Jennifer.
And you all will see her again briefly
Excelente.
in some capacity. You're gonna see her again, whether it's you're gonna see her again briefly. So okay. So let me try to go. What time is it, guys? I know we don't went over
You said 7 on Saturday?
7. We said 7. We said 7.
Siete?
A las 7, yes.
Okay.
And so and on Saturday, you know, a good hour maybe. Just 'cause I'm going to do the same thing we're doing right now. Maybe different activity or whatever, but we're going to do the same stuff. I'm going to do the same thing. So I want you to get it.
We
You
might
understand
have
it.
some other stuff we might need to go over on Saturday too. So I'm just saying.
Okay. Well, Saturday would be basically for the verbs for right now. What we're doing right now.
Oh, it
If
is. I see. Okay.
Yeah. Saturday for verbs only. Now, if there's anything else that anyone needs to work on that I haven't seen yet, I will. In the general, I'll call you and say you call me a call, and we'll talk about some things. But everything we're not reviewing. So I do reviews. We'll go back over everything again. But this right here is something new we're doing. We're doing this verb conjugation stuff. It's brand new, and I don't
Okay.
want you guys to go forth without having at least a good command on it. So that's where we're at right now. So we're gonna be stuck here for a second. All right. So on Saturday, if you feel good with this right here, you don't come. I mean, this is voluntary. Who needs some help? I'm gonna be there to give you another lesson instead. That's all.
I need help, but I can't come Saturday.
Who is that? Miss Hearn?
No,
No,
that's
it's
not
before.
me. That is not me.
And I don't need help with the verbs, but I can come Saturday.
Oh, y'all giving me. Hey, Miss Moore. So that's fine. We can set a time. We can get on it. Okay.
Thank you. Gracias.
No problema. And Miss Hearn, we can set a time and get on it. Okay.
Actually, I'm gonna call you later.
Oh.
It's not about this. It's about me not being able to get my homework to you. It's done, but I'm having my issue that I have about trying to get it to you.
Okay, we can do that. Now, conversation class, guys. We don't ran over, and like 3 or 4 of you guys be in conversation class. So let's go ahead and clear this class, and we're gonna do conversation class. We're not gonna be that long. I know your head's hurt, so
Yes.
I'm not gonna keep it long. Who said that? Miss Ware?
No, that was not me.
Okay. All right. So let's do conversation class, guys. Those who are in conversation class. Let's take about 5 minutes and log in. And I know I'll be there at 6:15. And when y'all guys come in, we'll do a very quick lesson. Cause we need to do something, and we'll try to stop our first class from lapping over like this. All right, guys. So I see you guys, conversation class. I'll see you guys at about 6:17.
Thank
Adios.
you.
Adios.
Adios.